I have never counted the grains of sand on the shore, but I believe he knows everyone. Not a single speck escapes his attention. Each one, though invisible to the naked eye in the multitude, has its own place under heaven. I have never mapped the stars nor traced their paths, but I am certain they do not shine at random. They twinkle not by accident but by instruction. Their light travels miles just to remind us that order and wonder were birthed in the same breath of God. I have never heard the first sound that echoed across creation, but I know it was His voice, and it still echoes in the heart of everything that breathes. I do not know the full depth of mercy, but I know it must be vast because it continues to reach me. It flows like an endless river through valleys of regret and over the mountains of my pride. It finds me when I've built walls around my heart and waits patiently at the door until I dare to open it. I do not know how grace manages to be both soft and strong, gentle and unyielding, but it has never failed to catch me in every fall. I've leaned into it when I was weary. I've collapsed into it when I had no strength. Grace has carried me through seasons where I could not walk on my own. I do not know how forgiveness untangles the web of past mistakes, how it breaks the chains I forged with my own hands, but I know it does. I've lived it. I've tasted the freedom that follows the whispered prayer, "Forgive me." I have seen the eyes of a wounded soul brighten when they hear, "You are forgiven." I cannot explain how hearts hard as stone can suddenly melt, how years of bitterness dissolve in a single act of surrender, but I know that forgiveness is real. It is the quiet miracle we often overlook, but without it, love could never last, and peace would be a stranger to our homes. I do not know how prayers rise, whether they float like feathers or surge like fire, but I know they are heard. I know that even the groan too deep for words is understood. I have prayed with tears and been met with peace. I have prayed with fear and been wrapped in courage. I have spoken nothing, yet found answers I never voiced. God is not distant. He is not deaf. He is not too busy. The Creator who oversees galaxies leans in when I whisper His name. He listens with love and responds with wisdom, sometimes with answers I never expected but always exactly what I needed. I do not know how broken hearts still beat, or how shattered spirits find the will to keep going, but I know they do, because God is close to the brokenhearted. I have watched as people who lost everything still find joy in a sunrise. I have seen mothers with empty arms lift their hands in praise. I have known those whose worlds crumbled still offer encouragement to others. That kind of strength is not born from this earth. It is divine. It is the power of God living within frail human vessels, reminding us that suffering may visit, but it is not the final guest. I do not know the mathematics of miracles, how water becomes wine or how limbs are made whole. I do not understand the timetable of heaven, why some answers come swiftly and others tarry for years. But I know that miracles are not fiction. They are not relics of a time gone by. They are the heartbeat of a living God who still walks among His people. They are not always loud. Sometimes they come in the quiet turning of a heart, the slow healing of a soul, the whispered yes after years of waiting. But they are real. They remind us that impossibility is just an invitation for God to show who He is. I do not know what tomorrow holds. I do not know what trials may come, what joys may surprise, what lessons I still must learn, but I know who holds tomorrow, and that is enough. He who fed thousands with 5 loaves and 2 fish can multiply peace in my anxious thoughts. He who calmed the raging sea can still the storm in my mind. He who raised the dead can breathe new life into the parts of me that have long since given up. I do not need to know the details when I trust the author of the story. I do not know why some prayers are answered with yes, others with no, and still others with wait. But I believe that God answers with eternity in mind. He sees what I cannot. He prepares what I do not expect. He protects me from the very things I once begged Him to give me. And in that I have learned that delay is not denial, and silence is not absence. Even when heaven seems quiet, the King is still working. His hand never sleeps. His eye never blinks. He is writing redemption into every chapter, even the ones I would rather skip. I do not know how He loves me so completely, knowing me so fully. I do not know how a holy God desires relationship with flawed humanity, but I know He does. I know he walks in the cool of the evening, still seeking those who hide. I know he leaves the 99 to find the one. I know he chose the cross with my name on his heart. He was not tricked into loving me. He was not forced. He was not blind to who I would become. And still he came. Still he chose me. Still he calls me beloved. I do not know what heaven looks like, not in full. I imagine gates of pearl and streets of gold, but I believe its greatest beauty will not be in architecture but in presence. To see him face to face, to hear his voice with no veil between, to feel the warmth of his embrace, that is heaven, that is the joy set before me. That is the hope that anchors me in every storm. And though I do not yet see it, I press forward, not because I know every step, but because I know the one who waits at the finish. I do not know how, but I know he will. I do not know when, but I know he's faithful. I do not know why he chose me, but I will not stop saying thank you. I do not know all the answers, but I know the answer lives. He walks with me. He breathes in me. He leads me home.